Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry that I can't be with you live. I miss you guys. I hope you guys don't mind this pre-recording for my Week 18 Razor Sharp picks. Let's start this off the right way, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hashtag Sports and welcome to this Week 18 edition of Razor Sharp Picks, where I'm going to give you all my picks both straight up and against the spread. Obviously, we're going to talk about how we do in Week 17. Some big matchups coming up Week 18. The first time ever there was a Week 18 in the NFL. But let's start this thing off by talking about how we did last week and how we look so far this season. So the good news is, guys, hey, we can't finish below 500 against the spread. 135, 119, and 2 for the season, which means that finished 9-7 last week, which means even if we go 0-16 against the spread this week, we finished at 500, which means we're not losing money all season long. All season, we didn't lose at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about. Might not win a lot, but as long as we're winning, that's something that we can be proud of. Then you look at straight up last week, 11-5, 167-89. Overall, that's pretty good too. I'm looking forward to improving on that and not getting 100 losses during the regular season straight up. Let me know how you're doing in the comment section. If you've been keeping track all season long, how did you do straight up? How did you do against the spread? Maybe next season we'll have a little fun here on hashtag. Maybe we'll make it a little competitive, have a little competition involved. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But again, let's start this off. Now there's no Thursday night games, which is why I can send this on Thursday and not worry about missing a game. Again, wish I could be live with you guys, but some previous commitments make that a little bit of an issue, but still have to give you my picks. Haven't missed a picks yet this season. Why would I start now? And it starts on Saturday afternoon and evening matchups. We have the Saturday afternoon game is the Kansas City Chiefs, once the 1 seed in the AFC, now the 2 seed, still playing for some seeding, and they can still get the 1 seed with a win and a Titans loss on Sunday, but they are currently the 2 seed in the AFC going up against the Denver Broncos in Denver. So the Denver Broncos, nothing to play for here. The Denver Broncos cannot make the playoffs no matter what happens. They are officially eliminated, and they are 10-point underdogs at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't know what we're going to see out of the Chiefs, right? We know that the Bengals are already sitting all their players. They're not playing for that number 1 seed. They won the division. They know that they're going to be at home week 1, and that's good enough for them. I don't think that's good enough for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs want to be the number 1 seed if they can still get it from the Titans. But even if they can't, it's important to them to be the 2 seed, right? So that way if someone knocks off the Titans, then the playoffs go through Kansas City, I should say. So I'd like the Chiefs to win this game, even if Mahomes and company only plays for a half, let's say. I still think they're a pretty good team for the second half with their backups, right? You look at Denver, their quarterback issues, Bridgewater out for the season. He's on IR now. What can Drew Lock do against this defense? A really good Kansas City Chiefs defense. I know they lost last week to the Cincinnati Bengals. I know they didn't look that great on the defensive side of the ball, but that Cincinnati Bengals offense is just another animal. And this Denver Broncos offense just doesn't have the horses, pun not intended, but kind of funny, to keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs. So give me the Chiefs to win this game. However, it's in Denver, and I do expect the Chiefs to play their backups for at least a portion of this game towards the end, maybe. Give me the Broncos to cover that 10-point spread, but give me the Chiefs to win the game. Then moving on to the Saturday night game, an NFC East rivalry. Not too much on the line here. Dallas could potentially get that 2 seed, but remember, only the 1st seed gets by. Green Bay locked up that number 1 seed last week in the NFC. So the Dallas Cowboys are on the road going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles 7-point underdogs. 7-point underdogs. Eagles clinching a playoff spot last week as well. Currently the 7th seed. I'm not sure if they can work their way up to the 6th seed or not, but that's pretty much as high as they could go. You look at this Philadelphia Eagles team playing a lot better the second half of the year, running the ball pretty well as well. This Dallas Cowboys team just lost their backup running back to an ACL injury, so he's done for the season and the playoffs. How will that affect this team moving forward? Is Ezekiel Elliott ready to be the dominant workhorse after he's really been split in time all season long. Don't know what to expect there. The Eagles are definitely, in my opinion, going to cover this spread. 7 points is a lot in the NFL, especially for two playoff teams of this caliber. I think the Eagles try to shorten the game, take possessions away from the Dallas Cowboys. They're at home. The home crowd will be crazy, knowing that their team is going to be in the playoffs. Dallas losing last week to the Cardinals might have a little bit extra something to prove, right? So that might be why they win this game. But I like the Eagles in this matchup, not just against the spread, but straight up. They're playing good ball recently. Now, they can't get off to a slow start. But other than that, I think that the Eagles have a good shot beating the rivals here. And again, Dallas doesn't have a whole lot to play for. So give me the Eagles to win this game straight up and beat a 7-point spread. Then you move on to the Sunday slate of games. The Sunday slate of games, again, every other game is played on Sunday. No Monday Night Football this week. So that's something that if you love Monday Night Football, you're going to miss. But this is the first season with a Monday Night Football playoff game. So that should be interesting as well on ESPN. We look forward to seeing that next week. But this week, we got a full slate of Sunday games. We're going to start with the 1 o'clock games, and we're going to start in the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, 5.5-point favorites in this game. Listen, I feel like Monday was Ben's farewell, right? Monday in Heinz Field. That was Big Ben's farewell, emotional moment. Now he gets to play against his rival, a team that, has been a thorn in his side, and he's been a thorn in theirs multiple times throughout Big Ben's career. Would love to see some former Ravens there in attendance just to watch this game. Maybe Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, some of the other big name guys who Ben probably has some sort of relationship with outside of the NFL. With the Baltimore Ravens, again, Baltimore Ravens out of the playoff picture. Unfortunately, Lamar Jackson's injury was just too much to overcome throughout the season. Missed, I think, 4 games this year. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers team, not a great team, but again, Mike Tomlin hasn't played hard all season, and they are going to finish at least 500, which means Mike Tomlin's streak of never having a losing record is still intact. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have something to play for, right? If they win, a couple things happen for them on the other end. They win, they're in. All they really need is a win and a loss by the Chargers or Raiders. Well, guess who play on Sunday night? I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So it could happen that the Steelers find their way in to that playoff spot with a win against Baltimore and Baltimore. I don't think Baltimore's laying down that easy. And I think, again, as a rival of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Big Ben, would it be a great thorn in the side, the final act of a team to a player in his career to beat him when he has a shot to potentially make the playoffs in his final season. Give me the Ravens to win this game at home, but give me the Steelers to cover a 5.5-point spread. Then the other two teams in the AFC North, the Bengals going up against the Cleveland Browns. I really like how the NFL does this, guys. I like how the NFL does the final week all divisional games. I think that's great. It adds a lot of parity to the league, and it adds a lot of intrigue to that final week. And this game, maybe not the intrigue in this game that you would like, but definitely some intrigue, especially in that Sunday night game. You got the Cincinnati Bengals already clinched the AFC North, claiming that they're going to sit most of their starters, Mixon, Burrow, probably some of the wide receivers, things like that. You got the Cleveland Browns, no Baker Mayfield, but other than that, they're going to have Chubb. They're going to have their guys in there. The Cleveland Browns, 6-point favorites in this game. The dog pound might be a little crazy the last game of the season for the Cleveland Browns. Listen, since he's sitting everybody, it's really hard to know what's going to happen, right? A lot of these teams, especially when you know you're not going to make the playoffs, it really depends. What are you bringing to the table, right? Are you going to go out there and give it your 100%? Are you going to have meaning in winning the final game of the season? Or you're just going out there to go through the motions and don't really feel like you have much to play for? Because that's what's going to determine a lot of these games is how do the non-playoff teams feel going into it, right? And so for me, it's all about this Browns attitude. What's the attitude of the Cleveland Browns? And I think the attitude of the Cleveland Browns is going to be to win. Remember, expectations were high for the Cleveland Browns at the start of the season, and unfortunately, they did not meet those. But they still have an expectation to finish the season on a high note. Give me the Cleveland Browns to win this game, but give me the Cincinnati Bengals to cover that 6-point spread. Moving on to New Jersey, they call themselves the New York Giants, but we know where they play. The New York Giants are at home playing against the Washington football team. It doesn't matter that the Giants are home. It doesn't matter. And the two other NFC's team played on Saturday night. This game doesn't matter as far as playoffs go. This game just matters as far as pride goes. And I don't think the Giants have much anymore. I really don't think the Giants have much pride anymore in this season. They lost bad last week. I think they're going to lose badly again this week. Give me the Washington football team to win. Remember, the Washington football team a year removed from winning the NFC East. They want to fight for something. They want to play hard in this game and end with a win. And Ron Rivera does a good job of getting his team ready to play even in meaningless games. So give me the Washington football team to win this game. Give me the Washington football team to cover a 7-point spread. Then you go to Minnesota, where the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears play in an NFC North matchup. Again, a matchup that means nothing as far as playoffs is concerned. The Vikings eliminated last week with their loss to the Green Bay Packers. The Bears have been eliminated for quite some time. Matt Nagy, probably his last season with the Bears. Someone would argue it's Zimmer's last season with the Vikings, so it could be a game between two coaches on their way out. Give me the Vikings to win this game. Give me the Vikings to cover a 3.5-point spread. Moving to Houston, the Texans, who beat the Titans earlier this season, play the Titans. Again, the Titans becoming the number 1 overall seed last week in the AFC with their win, and the Chiefs lost to the Bengals. I think the Titans really want to hold on to that number 1 seed, especially with Derrick Henry potentially coming back. Give me the Titans to win this game. Give me the Titans to cover a 10.5 points, but I don't think this game ever gets close other than the first quarter when it's 0-0 at kickoff. Give me the Titans to win. Give me the Titans to cover a 10.5 point spread. Then you got the other AFC South matchup, the Colts, who clinched a playoff spot. I believe. Did the Colts clinch? Did they? Maybe they didn't clinch yet, but they're close. All it takes is a win against Jacksonville Jaguars and the 15.5 point favorites. Listen, 15.5 points, that's a lot of points, especially considering the Colts have not won in Jacksonville in over 4 years. So, I was telling you, you've been live with me all season. You want to yawn at least once during these streams. But give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover a 15.5 point spread. Give me the Colts to win the game and see them wild card weekend. Then you got the Green Bay Packers, the other NFC North battle. The Packers, who have clinched that number 1 seed, going against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, double-digit underdogs again. And again, you don't know who's showing up for Green Bay. There's no reason for Aaron Rodgers to play. There's no reason for Adam Jones to play. There's no reason for a lot of their top guys to play since they've clinched that number 1 spot. However, I have always said the last thing you want is to give an offense 2 weeks off, right? So you have that bye week coming up to start the playoffs. You don't want that week 17 basic bye week as well, even though you have everything clinched. So I think Rodgers and company might play for a half, right? Now, do the Lions, have that competitive spirit, that competitive edge in a double-digit spread game, a game where they're really just looking to get past the season? Well, if Coach Campbell, the Lions head coach, was accurate about what he said during last year's offseason when he was hired about, going after kneecaps and having a fight of a lion, then they're coming into this game meaning business and wanting to end the season on a high note. I just don't know if they can get the job done. Give me the Packers to win this game. Give me the Packers to cover the double-digit spread. Then you move on to the 4:25 games, and it starts and ends, as far as we're concerned, with our Buffalo Bills. Don't forget to join me, guys, Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern time is when I'll start to do my live stream, getting you ready for live play-by-play and reaction to the game between the Buffalo Bills and the New York, New Jersey Jets, a game where the Bills are 16.5 point favorites. Listen, the Bills had a hard time and did not cover what ended up to be a 14.5 point spread last week against the Falcons. Can they cover a bigger spread against the Jets? The Jets made a close game of it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, losing at the end. What does that do for their confidence level? What does it do for the Jets? Does it get them fired up? Does it let them know, hey, we could play with some of the best teams in the NFL? Or does it demoralize them to say, hey, we got this close. We had a chance to finally win a game, win our Super Bowl, if you will, and came up short, and we just couldn't do it. So, and for the Buffalo Bills sitting at home, they need this win. They need this win to win the division. If they win and the Bengals lose, they get that 3 seed instead of the 4 seed, which may matter later on in the playoffs. So they want this win really bad because they want to stay at home if they can. Give me the Bills to win this game and give me the Bills to cover that 16.5-point spread. Again, couldn't cover last week. I think they get in that gear, that playoff mode kind of, and show no mercy and win this game. Maybe we'll see some of the Bills' backups in the fourth quarter, Trubisky and others. But again, the Bills need this game. They want to win the AFC East. They want another back-to-back division titles. So the Bills win this game. The Bills win this game easily, covering that 16.5-point spread. That puts us at the other AFC East game, the Dolphins at home, 6.5-point underdogs against the New England Patriots. The Dolphins getting eliminated from playoff contention last week with their loss to the Tennessee Titans. I'd like the Dolphins to cover this spread. Normally, the Dolphins keep these games close. It'd be very interesting to see what Dolphins team shows up, if the Dolphins have anything left in the tank after that 7-game win streak and now falling short of the playoffs. It'll be interesting what Flores has this team doing. Even the Dolphins to cover a 6.5-point spread, but I think overall the Patriots will win this game. Maybe not put up 50 points like they did last week, but win this game overall. Next, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home going up against the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs 8-point favorites. Again, you don't know how long you're going to see Tom Brady. I wouldn't say for long. You don't know what the weapons of Tampa Bay are going to look like. No AB anymore. Marcus Godwin out for the season. Leonard Fournette on IR. So a lot of injuries there in Tampa Bay. Not sure what to expect. I still expect the Bucs to win this game. And the Panthers really haven't shown me much at all, right? At all. So give me the Bucs to win this game, and the Bucs to still cover that 8-point spread. Also in the NFC South, you have the New Orleans Saints going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Now the Saints are an interesting team here because they'll be doing some scoreboard watching, because if the Saints win the game against the Falcons and the 49ers lose against the Rams, the Saints move into the playoffs. And, the Saints, this really great defense, struggling on offense, right? These struggles on offense continue to happen for the Saints. The Falcons 4-point underdogs. Falcons coming off a very disappointing loss to Buffalo. A loss that didn't get out of hand until the fourth quarter. Matt Ryan thought he had a touchdown, didn't. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Falcons come out in this game. I actually like the Falcons to play a little bit of an upset here, to play a little bit of a spoiler, to say the Saints aren't making the playoffs. It obviously matters what happens in the 49ers game. Before we get to that, I think the Falcons say the Saints don't have a chance. The Falcons at home, last game of the season, pull off the upset against the Saints. Give the Falcons to win this game. Falcons to beat a 4-point spread. Speaking of the 49ers, they're 4-point underdogs on the road against the Rams. The 49ers, their secondary has a little bit of an issue going on right now, so I'm not sure what we're going to see, and you don't want to have a secondary issue when you're going against the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp are just that good. Cooper Kupp in the MVP conversation at wide receiver. That's how good he's been this season. I like the Rams to win this game. Now, the 49ers will be doing some scoreboard watching of their own. If my predictions are correct, the 49ers will lose their game, but since the Saints will lose theirs, the 49ers will still get that playoff spot. Give me the Rams to win this game. Give me the Rams to cover that 4-point spread. The last 4 o'clock game, 4:25 game, I should say, the Arizona Cardinals, after a big win against the Dallas Cowboys last week, 6.5-point favorites against the Seattle Seahawks. Speaking of scoreboard watching, the Arizona Cardinals will be scoreboard watching, because if the Rams lose to the 49ers and the Cardinals win this game, the Cardinals then win the NFC West. So a lot of scoreboard watching going on in the 4:25 games. Give me the Cardinals to win this game, make light work of the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll getting ready to go into the offseason after winning their division last year. Kind of a disappointing year for them. Give me the Cardinals to win this game. Give me the Cardinals to cover that 6.5-point spread. Then we get to the game of the day, right? The Sunday game of the day, Sunday Night Football. This game was flexed last week. The Las Vegas Raiders at home, 3-point underdogs against the LA Chargers, Justin Herbert. And these Chargers looked like they were going to win the division earlier this year in the AFC West. Some misfortune, some missteps, unfortunately, not the case as far as winning the division. The Chiefs overtaking them once again. So give me the Chargers, though, to win this game, and give me the Chargers to cover a 3-point spread. The Chargers make it into the playoffs. This is a winner-go-home game. This is a playoff game. It's a great way to end your Sunday. It'll be a lot of fun watching this one. 2 teams battling for their wild card lives. And again, it's win or go home. So the playoffs start a week early for the Raiders and a week early for the Chargers. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch all week long. And it's been a lot of fun doing these picks all season long with you guys. Again, sorry I couldn't be live, but I hope you guys enjoy these picks. I hope you guys leave your comment. Let me know who you have winning these games. Week 18, a lot of majorly important games coming up this week to decide some final playoff spots, to decide some spots where they're going to be in the playoffs. There's a lot of fun to be had, and I'll join you next week when we see who's in the playoffs, who's playing who, and who I have winning and covering the spread. I look forward to seeing you all then. I look forward to seeing you all Sunday. So make sure you tune in as the Jets go into Buffalo and play our Buffalo Bills. The Bills looking for the second straight AFC East title. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!